So in '87, you're in prison,
Yes.
and you decide to leave the Colombo family.
Yes.
Now, this is not actually allowed.
No.
When you join, when you take your blood oath, you're in it for life.
For life. Yes.
But you decided to break that.
Yes.
Did you inform anybody when you did that?
No, I mean, the way it happened, Life magazine had written a big story about me, and I had done an interview with them only because they contacted the warden. I was in prison, the reporter did, and the warden said that the reporter said, if you cooperate with the story, it'll be a better story on you. And again, I'm trying to keep things calm. I don't want any more indictments. And so I do an interview with the guy in prison, and I tell him, look, there is no mob. I married this California girl. I'm, doing my time. I'm going to get out and live my life. Well, a couple of weeks later, the story comes out, and the warden asks me back into the warden's office. He looks at me. He says, Franzese, do you have a death wish? I said, what are you talking about? And he shows me the article. It's a bad article. I mean, big picture of me, double page, and on the top, quitting the Mafia. And I'm in jail with a bunch of mob guys, and he says, I got to lock you down. This guy had me doing everything but testifying against everybody. It wasn't true. So that kind of set a wave going on the street. The feds come in a little bit later. Hey, you're a dead man anyway. Word's all over the street. Cooperate with us. We'll put you in a program. So I'm not going in a program. I don't want to cooperate in that regard. So, I mean, that's kind of started this whole wave of things. So I didn't have to tell anybody. It kind of happened that way. But I did send word back to my father. My father was in jail. And I said, Dad, don't believe what you hear. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I don't know if they believe me or not, honestly.
Okay. So you got locked down after that.
They put me in lockdown.
Did they put you in PC at that point?
They put me in administrative detention.
Okay.
In other words, for my own protection, they said.
Okay. But then you get out.
Yes.
Did they offer you witness protection?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they offered to change your identity, move your family to Idaho,
Yes.
that type of thing.
Yes. And I refused it.
Why is that?
Because I wasn't going to hurt anybody. And, I was leaving life for what I felt were the right reasons. Protect my family. You got to understand, my family, my mother, brothers, sisters, are devastated as a result of my father being in prison and his involvement in that life. I had a young wife. I didn't want to start my relationship with her by destroying our family. So I wanted out of the life. I didn't want it by hurting anybody. I wasn't mad at anybody. I didn't want revenge on anybody. Just wanted out of the life.
Okay, but there were hits put out on you at that point.
Yes.
Okay, by who?
My former boss, Carmine Persico.
Okay, who's
he
now
passed away on March 7th. Yeah, he took it very personal when I walked away.
Did you ever speak to him after that?
No. He was in prison also.
Okay, so you get out, you walk away, and the whole world knows that you're quitting the Mafia because of this article. You moved to California?
Yes.
Okay, and now you're actually having to watch your back.
Correct.
And move a lot different.
Yes.
How paranoid were you during that era?
I wouldn't call it paranoia. I would call it, I was very careful. I'll tell you what happened here. One of the horrors of that life, you make a mistake, your best friend walks you into a room, you don't walk out again. And obviously I knew of those experiences. I was a captain, and I had an experience similar to that at one point in time, where boss was trying to, I think he was trying to shake me up because he heard I was making billions of dollars. There were stories out there, and I was only turning in millions. So, there was a story written that I was becoming strong enough to break away from the Colombo, start my own family, because I had the Russians with me. I had a lot of guys on the street. There was no truth to it at all, but it gets into guys' heads. So he tried to shake me up a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I walked into a room and I didn't think I was going to walk out. I really didn't.
So you get a call for a sit down.
Yeah.
And you know that there's some sort of tense situation around it.
Yes.
So you're walking into a room knowing that you might be murdered in that room.
Yes.
And you can't bring your guys with you. You can't bring bodyguards. You got to walk in solo.
Yeah.
Okay. What if you say, I'm not going to this meeting?
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You can't say I'm not going. If you do, you just about, you put your own hit out on you,
Okay.
But, people have said to me, how did you walk into that room? Was it heroic? And I said, no, it wasn't heroic. It was more robotic. I was such a product of that life that I said, hey, if this is it, I guess this is it. I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you. You think you're meeting your maker. It's not pleasant, but, I'm here, actually, so it worked out. But since I had that experience, I said, nobody's going to walk me into a room. They're going to have to work to get me. So I move out to California. I don't put a house in my name, no utilities. I don't walk my dog at the same time every morning. I don't go to the same restaurant every week. I stayed out of clubs. I was very disciplined because I knew I couldn't create patterns in my life, and I couldn't, I had to be careful who I had around me. But I wasn't paranoid.
Well,
disciplined.
Your own father, I guess, spoke against you in one of these meetings or something like that?
Well, he went along with it, from what I was told. He went along with the contract on my life. And, you know...
Oh, wait. So everyone knows when it was announced that you're leaving the Mafia, the head of the Colombo family puts out a hit on you, and your dad goes along with it.
Yes, that's what I was told. And I understood the position my dad was in, because if I were to become a major witness against guys, it would be bad for him because he proposed me into that life. It wouldn't look good for him.
So would he be killed?
My dad had a lot
situation?
of respect at the time. I don't know that he'd been, I don't know. You know, you never know in this life.
Right.
But I went way out of my way to make sure that that didn't happen. I would never put my dad in jeopardy. As a matter of fact, I kept telling him, don't believe whatever you hear. I am not going to be testifying against any of the guys. Don't believe it.
Right, because in the Donnie Brasco story, was it Lefty who brought him in?
Yes.
Ended up getting killed.
Lefty didn't know.
Oh, he didn't get killed?
True. No, Lefty.
Oh, in the movie he got
That was
killed.
a fallacy in the movie. Lefty
Okay,
actually died of cancer, I believe.
Okay.
Sonny Red and Sonny Black got killed.
For co-signing?
Yes.
For
Sonny Black was
co-signing
really
Donnie
the guy
Brasco.
that got killed. Yeah.
So if you co-sign a made man, that made man turns into a rat.
It could be a problem for you,
Could
yes.
be a problem. Okay.
Would it have gone to that extent with my dad? I don't know, because he was a well-respected guy, but it could have.
So you find out your dad co-signed a hit on you. Was there any actual attempts?
I had 2 times when the FBI came to me and said, there are people here, we've learned from our informants, if you don't leave town, you're going to be dead by the weekend.
Okay.
And we had to pack up and move, because I took it serious.
You moved out of your home?
Yeah, we left for a couple of days, and I'll never forget, it was a holiday weekend, and what happened is they had told my wife that. I had come home, I was on parole, and they were in the den with her, and she was crying. And I said, what are you, I got mad. I said, why are you telling my wife this? Because you may not take this seriously. It's serious. So I had to pack up with our kids, and we left for a couple of days, yeah.
Okay. But nothing ultimately happened?
I had 2 kind of close incidents, I think, but...
Too close?
Well, when I think there were guys that I knew about that I had to avoid. I knew guys were in town.
Okay.
And I knew what their purpose was.
I mean, were you carrying a gun during this point and ready to shoot out if necessary?
You know, if I had to protect myself, I would have.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.